And we're back to another episode of Let's Play Lunar, the Silver Star Story. I'm your host, the RPG Guy, and full party in tow. And we're on a quest to take Galleon on a delicious trip to Murder Town. I'm fucking coining it, man. I'm gonna have t-shirts made of it. Gonna have our little pink Jack Tart on there with blood all over his sword, and he's like, murder! You know, it'll be great. So now we gotta make our way south to the whatever zone, the Marius zone. Because I forgot that the Katarina zone was what we were in before. So, yakety schmaggety. And we have a full team up here of caricatures. No, characters. Some might say they're caricatures. But we have a full group of dudes to do some duding. Especially because Kyle's ripped like the Hulkster. I'll show you his magic in the next fight here. Because these are obviously some dated enemies that even Nash almost one-shotted. Alex, if he can reach that last bug, will in this fight. Yep. And we're a little short on cash. I was hoping to have a little bit more money, but I went and overspent on Kyle with that one trinket, so kind of hurt our budget. But if we need to, we can go back to the trial cave and fight those little dog dudes until we get what we need. Nash might be fast enough to sneak and attack him, but I wouldn't rely on it by any means. So let's take a look at Kyle's skills here so I can explain what he can kind of do. He's very much in the same vein as Alex. You know, he can increase his own attack, much like Alex can vigor. He can do this, which Alex can't do, which is attack an entire row of enemies with a sword skill. Straight line. This is an area zone, so it's not a zone of his choosing, it's the zone encompassing him. So if he gets surrounded by enemies on both sides, that's a really neat little get out of jail free kind of skill. And then this is the equivalent of sword dance on Alex. You'll notice that Kyle is very blunt functional. He's not, he's, you know, Alex is going to change as the game goes on. Kyle, not so much. He's more of a stagnant character. I almost dare want to say they didn't know what to do about getting another frontline fighter. I'm just making a tease of maybe the game's original and initial design, but don't take that seriously by any degree. I'm sure this was really well thought out. But really, that's Kyle's function in the party, is he's just the beef. He is the beef. And even more so in some ways than Alex. I believe he'll always be physically stronger than Alex, too. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Again, same kind of strategy will work.
Check this out.
But you're already getting an idea of the party dynamic here. But that's one of the reasons you don't want Jessica all the way in the back. And eventually we'll try to see if we can get her maybe some kind of accessory that would make it so she can traverse greater distances. There are trinkets out there that help a lot with that. That way she can walk further than Alex and Kyle, because at some point, you know, you don't usually want your healer being the focused target. Hence why we moved her back in between the two guys, because in between the two melee fighters, because she'll draw more of the hate there. Make a note. So, but yeah, that's really the gist behind a lot of that. I don't believe there's anything else here, so let's keep moving as we reach a new land. Yay! Yours. Alright. And so here's where things get a little weird. It might have been in our best interest to deal with money issues earlier, but alas. If we need to, it's not a big deal. And you'll find out why in a moment here. Move the mic closer. There we go. Welcome to Renza. Not exactly the wealthiest town in the Marius zone, but a great place to learn the latest news and gossip. And the beer is lovely.
Hey!
Excuse me. No, are you alright? Well, the inhabitants of Reza certainly are rude. I can see why Kyle fits in so nicely here. Hey, no. Did that guy bump into you?
Yes. Wait! The white dragon wings, they're gone!
Well, you just learned the only real downer to this place. It's a den of thieves. There are so many of them, they've even formed a guild. Watch your valuables. This place can get a little rough.
Hey, Kyle, perhaps you could have warned us before Null got robbed.
Riz is a big town. If we're gonna find those wings, we better start looking now.
I knew you heard me, you selectively deaf weasel. Oh, the character dynamics in this game is really good. It still holds up in a way, just the way that the characters interact with each other. You can explore the town. There's really not much here except for maybe, I think, one red chest. Again, that's at your discretion. See, there's a red chest back there. Oop, didn't mean to leave. Upset. So yeah, our ability to instant teleport around the world is no longer available. But you can still walk. As all of you cringe just thinking about walking now that we all... As soon as they give us free teleportation, it's taken away. It's taken away. Again, the item shops are going to be very, very unselective here. So everybody should have at least one berry, if not more. Oh, and Jessica. We can give one to Jessica. It's better than her single target healing spells right now. So it doesn't hurt to give her two. Eventually, she'll get a single target healing spell. I believe that will be better than what she's got. So the gear. Yeah, new gear. Yep. But you can see we're going to burn through our money pretty quick here. Sell off the old stuff. Give me the cash, give me the cash, give me the cash. I don't believe we have anything in here to sell, so nope. We don't really need many of these. If I need cash, I could sell some starlights, silverlights, or what? Starlights, whatever, silverlight, whatever they're called. But I think we're gonna just be okay. All right. We might be a little short though. Let's see. Alex gets priority here. Yeah, we're gonna be a little. Well, we don't need ethereal cane is garbage. That is not. Whip it good. Harikari made easy. Oh. Now we're talking 5 damage versus 5 damage. So, hey, any bit of damage is better than none. Is this better for? No, it's not better for Kyle. Kyle still has the better sword. So we'll get Alex's weapon here. And we're a little short. Technically we could have... So here's the thing that you can take from this. You could have passed on the silver sword. I just chose not to. So that way you could see it, but and all that stuff. Whereas, you know, and actually Kyle's got better gear than Alex does. Bastard sword, long battle sword, stainless and shiny, deflects darn damage, absorbs noggin knocks, and then increases magic resistance. So yeah, he's pretty well off, and that bastard sword's pretty cool. But you'll notice he's the only one that can equip any of this gear, so you can't get it for Alex. You can't give it to him. Yeah. So yeah, the Earthen Cane is garbage. So I'm not hyper concerned about that. I'm a little concerned we didn't have enough money to afford the mace for Jessica. We could sell the angel ring, but nah, we'll hold on to that. All right, Look at that drunk ass dude over there. That is not the guy that robbed us, by the way. I know it looks like him, but it's not.
I don't see that thief anywhere, but I know he ran in here.
Let's talk to the barkeep and find out where he went. And stay calm. Just stay calm.
Hey, Alex, doesn't the old man at the counter look kind of familiar?
Ho, ho, ho. Hello, Alex. I wouldn't have expected to see you in a place like this. There are a lot of thieves in Reza. Make sure you keep a firm grip on your possessions.
Too late.
You've already been robbed. Good luck finding the culprit. Oh boy. Hey Kyle, haven't seen you around here for a while. Sit down and have a drink, lad. Hell, have three. Let's hear some stories about life in the answer. I wish I could, friend, but I'm not here to tell tales and swill ales. Someone stole a valuable item from a member of my group, and I'm here to get it back. That's a shame, Kyle. But complaining about thievery in Rez is like whining about a wuss magician in vain, you know. Hey! Cool it, Dash. Actually, I was hoping you could help us get it back. You're an influential guy around here. Isn't there anything you can do? Well, this must be important if you're trying to use flattery. There is a way to get your item back. Members of the guild aren't allowed to steal from other members. If one of you joins the guild, whoever stole your item will have to give it back to you. Not as easy as I hoped, but I guess we really don't have a choice. So how do I join the guild? Your thieving skills have to be tested by one of the guild elite. He can be found working in Mariod this week. Finding him is also part of the test. You know how to get to Mariod, right? Just walk along the coast of the inner sea till you reach it.
Mariod. That's practically in the Stadius zone. Are we strong enough to go that far?
Hey, you guys can stay here if you want. I'm the only one who has to pass the test. As long as you all don't mind being labeled wimps for life, I'm fine with it.
Of course, we're obviously going. Because, yeah, the proverbial shit kind of hit the fan on that one. So, we are... We got to make a move to Mariod here. Do we need to heal? Just do it anyway. The numbers are too small. I refuse to look. Let's make a save. Doop-a-doop-boop-boop.
Because saving's your friend.
Ow, 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 ow. Okay, let me just check something really quick again. I take that back. Alex can't equip Kyle's gear, but he can't use the bastard sword. So just as a heads up, in case anybody was curious, I screwed that up. So obviously we have to go this way. There's a town over here that we can check out, but I don't think there's really much here, so I mean, I'm just showing you that you have access to it, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be good or that we can afford it. Yeah, the white bracelet, which is an upgrade for numbnuts here. Which we're not going to spend money on. I'd rather get the other upgrade for, well, I guess we could wait. Well, part of me's like yes, and the other part of me's like no. So yeah, we're not going to bother with that. Thank you, come again. Alright, we might have to go through the next dungeon twice just to get some gold. Glorious, or silver. It's silver in this game, laddie. Silver, it's all silver. We'll worry about it when we get there. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, let's get to it. Oh no. Oh no. This is the spring of the goddess Althena. If you enter the soothing waters, you can purify her. Do you wish to? Of course I do. Even so, springs where the two sexes bathe together are not permitted. In light of that, it is now necessary to inform you that this spring is for males only. Your female companions may wait over there or seek out the spring designated for them. Oh God! Oh! Oh! Why? Oh! What the fuck, Nash? What the? Oh God! What has science done? Oh! Well, now I'm certain you must feel refreshed. Your skin is absolutely radiant. My skin is radiant, but my soul is tarnished forever. And you'll notice the soap is gone. The soap with no rope is gone. And that's very relevant because in order to see either of the bathing scenes, you are required to have soap. And you can only get it in a couple places and at very specific times too. So just keep that in mind. And yes, that cannot be unseen. You just saw something that you can no longer unsee. In other words, the stuff of nightmares. As we now have to make our way through here. Brain liquor. So a lot of the enemies in this area, they're actually resistant to magic, which is kind of funny because we now have mages, and yet we're fighting enemies that are kind of as a whole resistant to magic.
Check this out.
The games gives you more characters, but your damage output is somewhat restricted compared to what you might be used to from, you know, the earlier parts of the game. And you'll notice that even Flame Circle, because Mia goes last pretty much all the time, you really have to reconsider your AoE options with her. You're better off in many cases single targeting enemies. But I was showing that to you as an example. And the Earthen Cane does not do better damage or anything like that. So there it is. 171 XP, which is good. That's a lot of XP at this part of the game. It's more than what we would get in Vane, fighting those little dog dudes. Again, these fights are harder, mind you, but it's better stuff. Now you might, well, you know what? We don't need to do that with Alex. We can do it like, yes. Believe they're all resistant. I think that's the snakes. Oh no, yep. See, every enemy here is completely resistant. Hence why I'm using doing that. Sonic Razor. I regret not doing it to the bottom snake because he'll live. I don't know. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I burning MP? Well, there's no boss in this area, I don't believe. And on top of that, this is a place where we can make that cash that we're missing. So we can buy Nash's the white ring for Nash, and we can buy the better mace for Jessica. Because 600 silver is pretty good, and obviously the XP here is phenomenal. And this is one of the best times early on in the game where you can do a lot of good grinding. Since the magic cave in Vane, because this is finally XP that's somewhat tangible. Characters can level off of this relatively in 20 fights, or actually it's less than 20 fights. In like 15 fights, Kyle will level, and and that's me being a little hyperbolic. It won't take it shouldn't take that much. There's a couple of enemies though that won't give us as much. I think this is the one where I think one of these fights with one of these particular enemies gives us a little less. But again, I forget which ones. But yeah, whenever you're in dungeons where there's no bosses or anything, there's no reason ultimately to conserve MP. So, don't be wussy about it. Just go for it. As you can see, these bee bastards get to go first. When they start shaking their booties, they're money makers. That's when you got to be afraid. Still feel like the center is not centered. Again, everything's resistant to magic in this dungeon. Get some! But they are not resistant to Murder Town. Population Alex. 345 XP. So that's actually one of the better fights right there. So like I go back on what I said. So not go back. I'm going to reinforce what I said. Leveling here is great. You could get characters like 22 and be rather comfortable. You can get them higher than that. When enemies are giving you 300 a fight, that's a lot. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's 5 fights to level up a character in many cases. There's a red chest here to remember. So, yeah, I can't stress it enough. This is a magical place for some grinding. That's why I wasn't too worried about going back to the other area. You know what? Because he's so far out.
Nice.
I thought they would have been able to team up and kill it. Oh well. Oh well. And you notice the enemies are hitting really hard. That's just not, by the way, that's just not going to get better. It's just the way this game kind of is. So you kind of just have to deal with it. The enemies kind of hitting really hard all the time. It gets better as you level up. And you get... No, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better at all. Not in the sense that you're probably thinking or hoping. Not in the sense that you would hope for. And Nash learns another... Well, he learns sleep, and we do know sleep is very effective. It's one of the only status effect spells that tends to actually kick in when you need it. Heal Alex here since he's almost down anyway. And as you can see, skills and abilities are learned during level ups. So, again, reinforcing why you should level characters and get your levels up nice and high. Take them on a trip to Murder Town. Uh-oh, some of them are shaking their money makers. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Because, yeah, I believe they can stun, which I didn't even... No, they poison, right? Oh, no, but that attack hits really hard. Oh, look out! Oh, God. No, look out! So much murder! We're gonna have to heal right after this fight. Get some! A lot of XP. A lot of silver, too, by the way. Which gets us at enough to get that weapon for, yeah, we can get everything we need from, the stores now. There we go. Another grouping. I'm just showing you these groupings really quick. I won't sit here and make you sit through too much of this. So we got 3 of them. They're going to gang up on a character, so... On a couple characters, usually in this configuration. It's one of the reasons this is a good option, because they'll all be usually in range by then. That's not entirely true, because I just forgot that Alex might bash them away. And we'll deal with it, of course, as needed. Yeah, see, if Kyle went right now, it wouldn't be a problem. He should be able to reach the other 2, though. Yeah. Murder! Luckily, there's not a lot of stuff in this dungeon, if I'm not mistaken. It's mostly just money, I believe. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. Well, you could quote me on that, but it'd be kind of weird. Because I'm not sticking to that. I believe it's mostly all silver, though. So it's not like a huge, huge deal to get all the chests here. But for the sake of argument, we're going to definitely do that ourselves. Is there any enemy I've... Whoa, I saw an enemy I don't think I've shown you. No, we showed that enemy. We murdered it really quickly, though, but I showed it. So let's do that, and defend. Do that, because they'll get all nice and cozy. But just in case Alex goes down, we have a backup here. But yeah, this is really all you got to do in this area. And just literally just wail away, get that delicious XP, get that silver. We're gonna stock up a bit, because in the next town, we're gonna need a pretty good amount of silver to get all the stuff we want as well. So this is like I said, this is a primo grinding area. I can't stress that enough. With the amount of XP that we're getting, characters level rather quick, not as fast as you'd like. But again, if you're this far in the game and you feel under-leveled, this is probably your best shot at playing the catch-up game on leveling before the enemies just start to overwhelm you damage-wise. And you really don't want to go down that path. It's a very dark road with lots and lots of personal violation on your butthole. So yeah. Ooh, there we go. So you can kind of figure out what I'm doing. We'll give him. And then kill the rest. Gib! Yeah. That's still really good XP, guys. There's the good stuff, my friend. Yeah, 1,000 silver. It's mostly silver. Kyle's got 12 MP, but you're not guaranteed a kill with him. Whoa, look out! So let's head back to the bathhouse because there's an Althena shrine there. And I'll give you an idea of like I said, what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go by. Before we stop, before I grind a whole bunch, I'm gonna go ahead and grind. Don't worry about what you saw. I saw it too. I know it's there. I'm not gonna say what that is. We can buy Jessica's flail. We can also get the white ring from that other town earlier, which I would like to do. Boop. Okay. Look at this. Look at all these till next levels. 2 fights right there in Kyle levels. Maybe 5 fights and Alex 6 fights. Maybe 5 to 6 fights Alex will level. Again, this is a good place to do some grinding. When a character levels, though, I would say that they need about 32 to 3,400 to level. That's 10 fights right there. Once usually I get over a leveling situation where we have to make over 15 fights, that's usually when I start slowing down. Or 20. 20 is a waste of time. That's a lot of work to level up. But for the sake of argument, right now, we're doing pretty good. How much? Yeah, we got enough money. So we'll go and pick up the white ring for Nash. You can get it here, and you can get it in the next town, but white ring, what is it, the white ring? Or is it a white bracelet? I forget the name of it. I wasn't really paying that much attention. White bracelet. White is all right. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to buy it. And we're going to sell the silver bracelet. And we're good to go. Now, we even have enough money to buy the Earthrin rods. They're shit. They're shitty. They're really, really shitty, and they're really, really expensive. So don't buy them. Trust me on this. Don't buy them. Don't wait. Unless you're 100... Unless, like, the completionist is doing this. You know, if Gerard wants to do that, let Gerard do that, you know. At least buy one for the party. But I don't believe... In this game, you can't buy everything and hold on to it. And all has a finite inventory. I know it doesn't seem like it, but he legitimately does have a finite inventory. So, here's how this is going to go down, guys. I'm going to power level up a bit. Probably spend no more than... I would spend no more than an hour here. If I spend longer than that, it's because I lost track of time. But even an hour, I'm starting to question. I don't even think we're going to need that long. Maybe 30 minutes. But we'll dick around in this forest, get nice and ripped and buff. And when we come back, we will be ready to do some murder. So what takes me a little bit of time, you're going to see happen in a flash. I need to stop laughing like that. It isn't funny. It's just dumb. All right. We'll see you guys when I come back. All right. So we're back. And I went overboard. I went way overboard. What were we, level 20, 21 when we came here? We're now 24. And Alex is close to leveling again. I totally lost track. I even timed it. I did about an hour of grinding, and this is how far we got. We gained at least 3 to 4 levels. So that's a level every every 15 minutes. Which isn't too bad when you're here. So we're pretty beefed out. Again, you can still see I'm burning all my MP to kind of get through here, but for the most part, we're all beefed out. Oh, okay, we'll kill him like the rest. I killed all the enemies. We already did grab all the chests, so I didn't have to worry about that. And oops, I did that because I had to reload the game because the freaking OBS would not see the screen. For some reason, it just was like the screen's not really there. So, whatever. They can, as you can see, they did just fine. So yeah, it's weird when I use my Hapog box. I actually record with OBS, not with the Hapog software, because it sucks. It's not as nearly as good, rather. One of the negatives sometimes is that I have to reload. It only happens on my PS2. It doesn't happen on my other consoles. So it's kind of weird, but whatever. You gotta unplug the Hapog box. You gotta turn off the PlayStation 2. You gotta shut down all the software, not the computer, just all the software, and then you kind of gotta reboot it all one piece at a time. And oh look, it works. So I saved, and then came here.
So this is Mario. This is amazing, Alex. They built a city entirely of wooden planks suspended over water.
No, the amazing part is that these hicks managed to nail anything not related to them.
Regardless, let's look for the Magic Guild test giver who's in this town.
Thieves Guild. I said Magic Guild, sorry. so many guilds I can't keep track anymore. So there is actually a shop of interest here. I can't just finding it. And it's really just an armory. We also made a ton of money, but not as much as you'd think. We've had this number before, or maybe not 40,000, but we were in the 30s when we were dealing with the ice pups or whatever the hell they're called back in the other town, in Vane. So you know they're not that interesting. It's not that interesting. Let's buy the cheap stuff first. And then we got a set of steel gear for Alex, who's been yearning heavily for some new gear, because he was still on that iron gear for so long. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this one piece at a time, but oh well. Because I got stuff in his inventory here. Sell that. And then we'll buy this piece of steel armor. Again, selling one of the last pieces of old gear all the way back in Maribia. Though we did buy the chainmail, but meh. It's another thing we could have... Well, no, we didn't want to wait on that. Alright, I'm thinking of something else. Alright, so... we're all geared up. The only thing that Alex is lacking is a decent sword. Because even per hit, he's being outclassed just ever so slightly by Jessica. Jessica hits for 2 points harder than he does, but she only hits once, whereas Alex hits twice, and his range is a little bit better. But you look at that though, Kyle is still the freaking beast from the east, or the west in this case, southwest. And then Mia and Nash are still doing their thing. Some people learned some new spells. We'll take a look at them in a moment. Yeah. Mia learned Ice Wall, which is the same effect as Flame Circle, but ice. She also learned single target Fireball, which really to me is a big deal when you need that single target stuff. And Nash learned his ultimate attack, because he doesn't get anything really better than this, Thunder Thrust, which is when a Thundercat decides to stick it in your pooper. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. Thunder Thrust is on the loose. Thunder Thrust is loose. Now, Jessica didn't learn a new spell yet. And don't be surprised, but Kyle's, I don't believe, is going to learn anything new the rest of the game. So Thunder Thrust is on the loose. Thunder Thrust is loose. Hear her moaning, hear her groan, while thunder thrusts are loose. But did it? Thunder, 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 thunder thrust. Thunder, thunder. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't help myself. You're like a 5-year-old. No, a 5-year-old has no idea what the original Thundercat theme song is. So suck it. Alright. I hate myself. Alright, so the Wrath Ring is in question. The Wrath Ring, if we look at our characters here, which we can, or I mean gear-wise, rather. If we look, there's really only one character who has an opening. I don't consider Alex having an opening. And that's Kyle. Technically, Alex could if we got rid of the Fire Ring, but meh, we're not going to want to do that right now. But this thing is like 12 grand for 10 attack. But then again, that's what we did for the other characters too. We haven't gotten to a point of the game where Alex, or Kyle even now, their attacks are lacking. They're not making boss battles go that much faster by getting the Wraith Ring. And it's really expensive too. We're also going to get one for free later. So, yeah, I don't recommend picking up the Wraith Ring. I just don't. What are you, the inspectors of the Thieves Guild? I don't get it. I'm just a drunk person.
It's hard to believe, but this guy might really be our inspector.
What makes you say that, Kyle? The fact that he looks like the spawn of Satan? What? Okay, That dancer is easy on the eyes. I want to say... I forget who. Let's see. They say that the girls that sing real pretty are the ones that nobody's going for. I think we need to talk to somebody specific first. Always forget this section of the game. It's kind of one of those up in the air things where you got to kind of figure out who you got to talk to. But yeah. Oh, you know what? I know what I think I know what we didn't do. We actually have to make a scene happen first. Okay, I might have to read that one again. I don't think it'll do it though. Yeah. All right. Well, your mouth's writing checks. Your puny muscles can't cash. Creak, creak, crack.
Hey, what were those strange sounds just now? The creak and the crack.
I think the bridge just moved. I don't believe this was a good idea. We should turn back. We don't have time for... Whoa, we're falling! What t-shirt contest, anyone? No! Oh my stars and garters.
Alex, are you okay? Man, I'm soaked. Why'd you have to make such a big splash?
Sorry about that, Null. I couldn't help it. Is everyone alright?
I don't know about everyone else, but Nash is over there, and that's a start. Let's go, Alex.
Alright, so we obviously need... Okay, so yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Hey, Alex, nice of you to drop by and pick up the pieces.
Well, at least we were here to do it for you, whiner. Look over there, Jess is by that house. Let's go get it.
Alex, I'm so glad you finally came. This place is crawling with creeps trying to pick up on me.
Alex, do the cause. I think you should punch it like that.
Oh no, I appreciate the sentiment, but let's just get out of here.
I think she's right, Alex. This place gives me the willies.
Speaking of which, where's Kyle? I bet that two-timing womanizer's in the pub. Let's go.
Hey, look, that guy's trying to hit on me. Let's hurry, Alex.
Alright, Mia, we'll come save you. If we don't, Nash might get his panties in a bunch. Alex, help me. This slob is picking up on me.
I'll teach these pigs a thing or two.
No. It's over now. Let's just let them be. We need to get going. If we let this guy off the hook, he'll try this again with someone else.
Never mind. Let's go, Mia.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, finally made it. That's the Tuskifer there. This is my party, and I invited him over for a little brew belching. We started talking about the guild, and it was a cinch. Hey, come on over here. Oh.
I'm gonna talk to Kyle.
Hey, Alex. What took you so long? You know, that was pretty dumb to try to cross that rotted bridge.
Well, Mr. Safety, I think you fell in the drink too. What's your excuse?
I was just trying not to make waves. Alex is supposed to be the leader here. Hey, kiddies. I heard some important stuff while I was waiting for you. I heard about a tower south of here called Damon's Spire. There's supposed to be some kind of jewel in this thing worth a lot of dough. If you give it to the guild chief and Reza, he's supposed to give you memberships.
Isn't that where the Keeper of Knowledge is supposed to reside?
I don't know about that, but you're probably right. We should check it out. Oh, I almost forgot. In order to enter Damon's Spire, you have to know the secret words, brother. I heard they are written in a notebook that this guy lent me.
Let me get the old notebook. Okay, then. We're off to Damon's Spire to the south. Which...
Hey, Kyle, you're going to pay the bar tab, right?
Jeez, don't say that so loud. We'll let the wasted guy pick up the tab. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, Kyle, what am I ever gonna do with you? Actually, I agree with Kyle on this one. Fuck that guy. He wouldn't talk to us earlier, so we had to fall in the frickin' drink because of him. So yeah, fuck that guy. I stand by my statement of telling him to go fuck himself. Alright. Let's make a save. So yeah, I was at about 10 hours and 20 minutes, 25 minutes when we did the grind session, so that's about right.
So Damon Spire's to the south, right?
Damon, guardian of knowledge. I bet he's got a library rivaling that of Vane. Oh my god, my knowledge Johnson is growing effortlessly. Oh! Okay, that's enough of that. If you're still watching by this point, you should understand that this is how it's gonna be. So you better just freaking get strapped in. So here we go in this dungeon from earlier that we now gotta kind of make our way through. The best thing we can do to expedite this, not expedite either, to move this freaking process along is just let Alex go commando on all these enemies. And don't worry about bothering with outside enemies. There's no point unless you're trying to grind some more. But the one thing we want to do is make sure Kyle is top condition. The toppest of conditions. The condition where he ends up on top of Jessica.
Oh, God, I'm such a part.
No, I'm just kidding. And so we want to pick fights where we know that Kyle's skills are not going to be needed. It's going to be with the bee killer buzz. The hot fuzz, the killer buzz. And then obviously Jessica can heal. But there is going to be a point where we have to kind of retain control of what we do and how we set up Kyle for what's coming up. We're so beefed out right now, it's probably not going to be problematic. I say probably loosely, but you never know. Sometimes shit happens when you party naked. Get some! And we win the battle. Jessica levels. And there's Saint Litany.
Yay!
Okay, that's enough of that. Alright, so Saint Litany, recover HP each turn. So it's your this game's version of Remedy. Not Remedy, not Remedy at all. It's this game's version of regen. And it looks like it's on all allies. And there's a time and a place for that. I don't tend to think of it to be that great of a skill that often. Often. Yeah, whatever. I don't find it to be a big deal to use often. I tend to be more reliant on killing my enemy before they kill me. It's one of the few games where you could have a really good defense, but as you've already noticed, even the best defense, you're still taking severe amounts of damage. So you almost kind of have to rely on offense in this game to help carry a lot of the burden of you getting your face smashed in by the various enemies here. Because yeah, the longer a fight lingers, the more damage you're going to end up taking in this game. Especially if you have the means to heal, or if you have the means to use like an Althena shrine. Because there's a few dungeons and a few locations where you'll fight strong enemies, but there will be an Althena shrine either nearby or like halfway through a dungeon. And so that's when I like to literally go out of my way and exploit the shit out of the game whenever it gives us that opportunity. This being one of them, because there's no real boss fight. Your first, when you're moving through here, so to speak. So you can really exploit the XP here, especially like I said, for those of you who are really under-leveled. If you're like 17, level 17 when you get here, these enemies will murder your face. But in the same regard, you can kind of counter some of that murder by supplying a bit of murder of your own, a bit of your own murder, as they say. We'll go ahead and do that. That should be enough to kill the whole group of them. Get some! Flash cut, murdering your foes with ease. Made by the people who made Snacky S'mores. Alright, let's move. So, yeah. Again, the XP here is phenomenal, but we're hitting in the $7 grand range. So that's kind of why I stopped at 24, because we were hitting in like the $5,000 range or so, and then I didn't even notice that at first. All right, so you can already Kyle's full MP, full HP. That's as best as he gonna get. There is one other thing we can do to help him out. What does he got in his inventory? He's only got 2 berries. We can give him a few more. Give him 1 more, 2 more. We'll give him a starlight, which we could take back if we need to.
What the? Daddy, what are you doing out here?
Oh, Daddy! Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Jessica, my dear Jessica, please don't leave me here. It's so cold, so lonely.
Daddy, why don't you sound like a pirate like you and Scotsman combined like you normally do?
Jessica, look out! Oh yeah!
Well, what's happening? What have you done to them? Help me, Althena. Give me the power to break this spell. No, not again. My father, my friends. My hubba hubba paloo, Kyle. I've lost everyone I ever cared about.
Come to me, Jessica.
Come to Butthead.
Join me. Join your friends. You will live forever, and you'll never be alone.
Yes.
Get some!
Kyle?
Get some! Get some! Mel would never ask his daughter to join him in death, you monster. I don't know what the hell you are, but I'm gonna crack through that stone shell. So come get some! I'll shove the sword up your ass!
Sorry, I got excited. I tend to do that every once in a while. So it's Kyle solo against Plaster Mel. Let's go ahead and use Power Up. He's like a well-tanned... he's like a well-tanned He-Man.
Let's do this. Get some! Get some!
You should be fine.
Get some!
Woo! Alright, we're gonna heal. Probably the only healing we'll have to do. Just to be safe.
Get some!
Just imagining Kyle swinging his sword as hard as he can, yelling, "Get some!" every time. Get some! Get some! Get some! Until I'm fucking dead. I'm amused so easily. We get no XP for that. It's just really something you gotta attempt to do on your own.
Curse you. Royce!
You've gone way too far this time, you shapely hag.
I made the mistake of underestimating you.
I shan't do that again.
How was I to know you could shatter my magic with your primal scream?
Wait until you see what I can do with my tongue.
Tempting, but perhaps later. And I know half of you at home actually want to see what he can do.
Kyle,
Hey, it was nothing. I mean, that's what I'm here for. And besides, it felt good to beat up your dad.
When you saw I was in danger, you broke out of the stone and saved me. Your feelings for me were what broke the spell.
Yeah. Yeah! Yeah!
What are you two doing? We still have to find our way through the forest. Oh, right. Of course. Well, Kyle, let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. Rip like the Hulkster, brother. Oh, when it comes crashing down and it burns inside.
Or hurts inside? Hurts inside? Hurts inside, yeah.
Gotta take a stand, it don't help to hide.
I don't know the words.
When I rip a shit in a summer breeze, gotta be man, can't live and die.
I don't know, hurt inside.
I am a real nice Nanzanian, fighting for Jessica's hot body again.
Okay, so we can pass some of this back to Kyle now. Sorry, I'm a jackass. I know, I can't help it. It's just something you become in life, you know? Move that over. And everything's looking pretty good, you know, so what if we do next level? Okay, at least in the 2000 area for everybody except Nash. I mean, I know Mia's closer than that, but 1500's probably a fair shake. I don't care about Nash. Just because Nash will always be behind everybody. No matter what you do. So, anyway. Sweet. This is a great place for us to stop, guys. I believe. And when we come back... we will be heading into Damon's spire, his little tower.
The land and place of all glorious knowledge.
And once we go in there, we're going to have some words with this guy and possibly kick him in the jewels. So thank you guys for stopping by. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you guys next time. Bye! Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please take a moment to check out more episodes from the RPG Guy, Tuesday Night Team Up, and more. And please subscribe. Always support the channels you enjoy watching, and while you're at it, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Keep on gaming hard. See you next time.